This episode is brought to you by John Blake Sales Breakthrough Solutions, helping you to at least double the amount of leads that you get that convert into paying clients.
Welcome to the Master Dealmaker's Secrets podcast. And now, here's sales growth strategist, John Blake.
Welcome to Master Dealmaker's Secrets. I'm John Blake. This is episode 177, and today I'm going to be sharing with you a real-life case study of a recent shopping experience that I had and the lessons that I think are applicable to almost any sales situation around. So looking forward to sharing that with you. Before that, if you have got leads that you have spoken to, that you have made an offer to, that you've sent a quote to, or you've sent a proposal to, and you want to convert more of those people into paying clients, I want you to head over to johnblakeaudio.com, and what you will find there is my system, a system that I developed originally for myself, but now one that I implement with clients that shows you exactly how you can double sales with your existing lead flow. So those people you've spoken to, made an offer to, but haven't converted yet. It shows you exactly what it is that you need to do, what it is that you need to do in terms of calling, in terms of emailing over a 90-day period in a way that's proactive, professional, but won't piss people off. What you'll get is the exact word-for-word scripts, what to say on the phone, what to say if you get through, what to say if you get voicemail, what to write in your emails, and specifically when to call and exactly when to email over a 90-day period, where you never tip the balance between professionalism and someone feeling like you're actually stalking them. So I'm sure that you will get a stack out of that. It is over at johnblakeaudio.com. Go grab it, put it into practice, and let me know how it goes. Okay, so the other day I have it's a pretty expensive guitar. I've had it for about 6 or 7 years, and it's a fantastic guitar. It sounds amazing, and I am about to do a regular gig at a restaurant around the corner from where I live, and I wanted to go and get some strings. So I went into the place where my wife actually bought the guitar for me, and I had a conversation with the guy. Now, the conversation went pretty well. I asked him, what the strings were that came with the guitar, given that I bought it from there. And he said, "Oh, no, that particular brand, they come with 12s, which is a particular grade of string." And he said, "So yeah, they're the ones that you need to get to replace it." So I asked for the strings. He showed me a couple of other things that I was interested in, that I asked him specifically about. And then I bought the strings and I walked out. And that was it. Now, when I got home, I went about, because I haven't really done a lot of restringing of guitars. I've got a couple of guitars, but for whatever reason, I just don't find that I have to restring them very often. So it's not something that I have done on a very regular basis. And so I got home and I looked up a YouTube video on how to do it. And turns out there's actually quite a lot to it. Like there's quite a number of things that you need to do to your guitar to keep it, keep it sounding good and in good maintenance. And so it got me thinking, and I thought, well, okay, so this is a sales type situation. He's got a shop full of stuff. He's dealing with people where music is their passion, it's their hobby. For some of them, it's how they make money. And so I thought, well, how could that have gone differently? And so I started thinking about the fact that as salespeople, we often just don't ask enough questions, And if you've been listening to me for long enough, you will have heard me revisit this all the time. And just when I start to think that salespeople are getting this right, I have a experience like that, and it goes, wow, people really just aren't asking enough questions, right? A lot of people who listen to the podcast want to know what we do over at Master Dealmaker Secrets. And effectively what we do is we work with sales professionals and business owners all over the world who are seeing massive increases in their top line sales revenue. So we help business owners and sales professionals to effectively focus on the 3 key drivers to growing sales revenue in your business. The first one is controlling the message that you send out into the marketplace so that potential clients see and hear and read what you do as an opportunity as opposed to your competitors. The second thing that we do is we help you to create a direct path to the 20% of your ideal clients that will deliver 80% of the revenue. So everyone knows the 80-20 rule. We help you to develop a direct path to the 20% of the people that are going to give you 80% of your sales revenue in your business. And the third thing that we allow you to do, that we create a process for, is for you to be able to double the amount of leads that you get that convert into paying clients. So if this is of interest, we do have an application-only process to become involved in this particular program. And to get to there, all you need to do is to go to johnblakescall.com. So it's JOHNBLAKESCALL.com, and there's a couple of questions to answer there. And then what you'll do is get on a quick conversation with me, and I can find out a little bit more about what you've got going on in your business and see potentially whether what you are doing would be a fit for what we could help you with. And at that point, I can extend an invitation if it's a fit, and you can make the choice to come on board or not. So that's the opportunity. That would be the next step if you're looking at how you can take things to the next level. If you're enjoying what you're hearing on the podcast, if you're getting value from it, I invite you to do that, and I will look forward to talking to you. The website is www.johnblakescall.com. Talk to you soon. So what could he have done differently? Well, to start off with, when I walked in there, I said, I volunteered the information. I said, hey, we bought this guitar from here. It was about 7 years ago. I'm wondering what strings it came with because I want to replace them with the same strings. Well, he could have said, what are you using it for? He could have said, how often do you play it? He also could have said, have you had much experience in restringing guitars previously? In which case I would have said no, because I don't. The fact that it was 7 years old would suggest that perhaps it'd be a good time to book it in for a service, right? Because I know that music shops do that. And, everyone wants repeat business. The guy realizes that, this thing was like $4,000 or something, $4 or $5,000. So there wasn't really a conversation around, oh, okay, well, you've had it for 7 years. Have you had it serviced before? Have you replaced the strings before? So it turns out when I got home, there's a whole bunch of tools that you need, right? So there's there's clips to clip the strings. There's a little device that you use to actually pull the strings out before you actually replace them. There's some oil that you can put on your fretboard, which preserves that and keeps it in good working order. There's a whole kit that I don't even know whether they had, but he could easily have sold me a kit. He could have said, look, well, if you're going to be replacing the strings, you're going to need this, you're going to need this, you're going to need this, and you're going to need this. Now, as it turns out, I had those things, fortunately lying around at home, but he could have asked, most definitely. He could have asked me what I was playing. He could have asked me why I was replacing the strings. He could have asked me where I was playing. He could have asked me what amp I had. He could have asked me if I had a preamp. He could have asked me if I had any effects pedals. He could have created a stack of opportunities. But the other thing that I thought that he could have done is that I was standing in the music store, and I've had this experience in this particular store before, and I won't mention the store's name because they actually do a really good job. I just thought, well, he could certainly have done this better. But I'm standing there, and I'm sort of looking around, and in my head I'm like, it's like a kid in a candy store. It's like, what else could I buy, And instead of saying, oh, did you want me to show those? Oh, that, they're the. Did you want me to show you some of the newest guitars, or did you want me to show you some amps or whatever? I got the feeling that he wanted me to hurry up. It was like, can you hurry up and make the purchase because I want to get back to doing what I was doing before, right? And that's not a good environment to create for someone or in a shop where you want lots of people to buy. So I'm probably being a little bit hard on him. I went in there, I got what I wanted, and I walked out. But I thought, wow, there are so many other opportunities. So what I would encourage you to do is think about the questions that you could ask that could allow you to go deeper and find out more about the people that you're working with. Because the more you know, the more you can identify additional opportunities. But most importantly, the better you can actually serve them. So I hope this has been valuable, and I will talk to you on the next podcast. As usual, thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate all the people that listen every month, or every other week when I release these. As usual, thank you for listening, and I will talk to you on the next podcast. Cheers.
You've been listening to Master Dealmaker Secrets with John Blake. Subscribe to get more in-depth strategies and maximize your sales process with new episodes every other week. And double your inquiry to sale conversion with the lead flow you already have. Go to johnblakeaudio.com for his exclusive, free, no-fluff audio training and companion PDF guide.